Ewell Gibbons, a naturalist from the 1960s, once said, "Ever eat a pine tree? Many parts are edible." Remember that? While I'm not suggesting you eat a pine tree, there are many edible treasures in nature along the Caminos. Let's explore them together. One of the most incredible aspects of walking the Camino is the chance to immerse yourself in nature. From the rolling hills to the lush forests, the landscapes along the route are truly breathtaking. As you wander through the countryside, keep an eye out for wild berry bushes and nut trees. With each step, you'll be amazed by the abundance of natural treasures waiting to be discovered. Foraging for wild berries can be an exciting adventure, but it's important to follow some guidelines to ensure that it's a successful adventure. Before picking any berries, make sure that they are safe to eat and not poisonous. Gently rinse them before eating to wash off any residue from local farming or other airborne contaminants. It's also a good idea to bring along a small container to collect your bounty and protect them from getting squished along the way. And remember, leave some berries behind for the birds and animals who rely on them for food too. Blackberries and raspberries are among the most abundant wild fruits found in Spain, thriving in various regions across the country. These delicious berries grow on thorny bushes, often located in dense thickets or along rural pathways, making them a common sight during the summer months on the Caminos. The appearance of these berries is quite striking. Blackberries start deep red and gradually ripen to a glossy black, indicating that they're ready for picking. Similarly, raspberries begin as a deep red and ripen to a bright and shiny red. Of the millions of edible berries that grow in the wild, blackberries and raspberries are easy to identify and pick. Most importantly, they have no doppelgangers, so there's little risk of accidentally consuming a toxic substance. Blackberries are solid right up to the stem. When you pull the blackberry cluster away from the plant, it will leave a flat hollow on both the berry cluster and the plant, as opposed to a cone-shaped nodule on the raspberry plant. Wild blackberry and raspberry vines typically flower and produce fruit between May and September, depending on the variety. In the cooler climates, these berries usually ripen in July, while in the warmer areas they can start ripening as early as May. This allows for several weeks of enjoyable berry picking. Wild blackberries and raspberries are delightful treasures of nature, often found among plants like poison ivy and accompanied by various creatures such as mosquitoes, wasps, snakes, and ticks. To ensure a safe and enjoyable foraging experience, it's wise to wear closed-toed shoes, long sleeves, and full-length pants. If you decide to wear gloves, just be cautious as they can easily get caught on those charming thorns. When you stumble upon a luscious patch of ripe berries, don't hesitate to make a little noise. These berries are a favorite snack for wildlife, including snakes, bears, and smaller animals. By alerting them to your presence, you help protect both yourself and the animals by encouraging them to move away gracefully. The amazing and really joyful thing about wild berry foraging is that they won't continue to ripen once they are picked. So focus on gathering only the ripe ones, recognizable by their large, plump size, vibrant color, and ease of detaching from their stems. If a berry requires a strong tug, it's still maturing and best left for another day. Enjoy your foraging adventure and relish these wonderful flavors of nature. Wild strawberry is a treasured fruit known for its delicate taste and delightful aroma. Although small, these vibrant red berries offer a richer, juicier flavor than the cultivated strawberries. They thrive in the lush, moist soils of forests and meadows, often found among wildflowers and abundant greenery. Before you go foraging, it's essential to know how to identify these wild strawberries to avoid any unpleasant surprises. Here are some key characteristics to look for. Wild strawberry leaves are typically toothed and consist of 3 leaflets. The flowers are usually white with 5 petals and a yellow center. Wild strawberries grow in small clusters and are generally smaller than the cultivated strawberries. It's important to note that some plants can look similar to wild strawberries, such as mock strawberries and poison ivy. To avoid confusion, carefully examine the leaves and flowers, and remember there are key distinguishing features. So if you're unsure about it, don't eat it. It's essential to be respectful of the environment when foraging for wild strawberries. Only pick a small percentage of the berries in any given area, ensuring that there are enough left over for foragers and wildlife. Additionally, leave some berries behind to help the plants thrive and ensure future harvests. When harvesting berries, gently hold the stem and twist it off. Hand picking is best because it preserves the health of these delicate plants, ensuring that they thrive for future seasons. Enjoy the process. There's something truly special about picking berries by hand. Let me take a moment during our foraging expedition to ask you for an important favor. If you watched my last video, you know that I put a lot of time and effort into creating these videos. I don't earn any money from them. My only reward is when you hit the like button and share them with your friends or with anyone considering walking the Camino. We are all part of a beautiful experience that is the Camino and the Camino family. We love sharing it with others. So now, let's get back to our foraging. Along the Camino, you can find not only wild berries, but also a variety of nut trees that are just waiting to be harvested. From almonds and walnuts to hazelnuts and chestnuts, these delicious treats make for perfect snacks to fuel your journey. Be on the lookout for nut trees along the path, and don't hesitate to crack open a few to enjoy their crunchy goodness. Who knew foraging could be such a delightful and nutty experience? Chestnuts are thought to have been brought to Spain by the Romans around the 1st century CE. The Romans valued chestnuts for their versatility and nutritional benefits, and they quickly became a staple crop in the region. Over the centuries, chestnut trees were cultivated throughout Spain, particularly in Galicia, where the climate is ideal for their growth. In Spain, chestnuts are highly valued, especially in Galicia, where they are an integral part to the local culture. The Magosto Festival, held in November to celebrate the harvest season, features locals roasting chestnuts around bonfires and enjoying red wine, highlighting chestnuts' importance in the Galician traditions. Chestnuts are not only delightful on their own, but are also used in a variety of traditional Spanish dishes. One popular option is chestnut soup, a hearty and comforting dish made by pureeing the chestnuts with vegetables and a touch of cream. Another classic is chestnut and chorizo stew, which combines the smoky flavor of chorizo with the natural sweetness of chestnuts, resulting in a rich, flavorful dish. The best time to forage for chestnuts in Spain is in the fall, usually from late September to early December. During this period, the chestnut trees are filled with fallen ripe nuts, making them easy to collect. Remember that chestnuts have a short shelf life once they fall from the tree, so it's best to harvest them as soon as possible. You can either eat them fresh or preserve them for later use. Once you locate a promising chestnut tree, take a moment to assess the surrounding area and look for fallen nuts on the ground. Use gloves to carefully pick up the chestnuts, being cautious of the prickly burrs that encase them. If the chestnuts are still in their spiky outer shells, use a knife or scissors to gently remove the shells and reveal the nuts inside. Make sure to check for any signs of mold or decay. Any affected nuts should be discarded to prevent food poisoning. There are many ways to enjoy chestnuts. You can experience the nostalgic pleasure of roasting them over a crackling open flame, filling the air with that wonderful smoky aroma. Alternatively, you can infuse hearty soups and rich stews with their sweet, nutty flavor. Enjoy the experience. However, as a pilgrim, you probably will not have a kitchen facility equipped to allow you to get creative with your chestnuts. But here is an easy way to enjoy them in the evening as a dessert after your meal at the albergue. Let's go into my kitchen and I'll show you how. Hello and welcome to my kitchen, where we're going to roast some chestnuts today. So, I mentioned earlier how when you pick these chestnuts up off the ground, they have that really spiny, thorny thing on them, the hull. And I don't usually have gloves because I walk in the warmer months. But what you can do is, this is one of those shirts that has the little thumb hole. Just pull it down to a finger hole. And that way your hands are covered and you can pick up that thorny chestnut and put it in your container and take it home and then clean it up. This next step is optional, but one that I like to do. You're going to need to cut a crosshatch in the shell before you roast it. And it's kind of a tough shell. So what I like to do is get my teapot of hot water and cover the chestnuts in that boiling water and then let it sit for about 30 minutes. It's going to soften the shell and make it easier to cut through. My chestnuts have been soaking for about 30 minutes now, and so it's time to put a crosshatch in the shell so that when we roast it, it doesn't explode. Oh, by the way, never put one of these in your microwave. It will blow up and make a horrible mess. Okay, so what I need to do is get a knife, and this is the knife that I always pack with me. It's my combination corkscrew and knife. So what you're going to do is get one of your chestnuts, and then you're going to cut a slit in the shell one direction, turn it 90 degrees, do a little slit in the other section, and then that will have created a little crosshatch in the shell. So you can do that either with your knife that you have, or if you're in an albergue that has a really nice kitchen and you happen to have a nice Wusthof chef knife, it's a lot easier. So you slit it once in that direction and then turn it and slit it once in that direction, okay? And then you're opening up that shell so that when you put it on the barbecue or the open fire or the skillet, it won't explode on you. Alternatively, if you don't have a knife but you have a pair of scissors, you can take those scissors and just cut the tip of it, just like that. And that way it will open up when you put it on the barbecue. Okay, so let's cut through all of these chestnuts and then go put them on the barbecue and roast them on that open fire. So we're outside now with my barbecue, my Weber barbecue, and I've got my chestnuts. They're all cross-hatched and ready to go on. I've got the barbecue up to about almost 500 now. So what we'll do is we'll open it up, and all you do is just dump them out. Close the lid and let them go. It's going to take at this temperature maybe 10 to 15 minutes. If you're in the oven, probably about 400 to 425 for maybe 15 to 20 minutes. If you're on a stovetop on the skillet, you know, you can watch it that way and you can see when they open up, then they're going to be done. So what should happen in a few minutes when we open this up is we should have a toasty outside shell and then a creamy, nutty inside chestnut. So just keep looking at it every now and then. They are done. So just get them off of your barbecue grill, into your bowl, and they're going to be very hot, so careful. So once you have your roasted chestnuts, what you do is just peel off the shell. It comes off pretty easily, and there's a little bit of a secondary shell under there, but it just peels off very easily. And there's your roasted chestnut. So this is what the chestnuts look like when they're peeled, and I've invited a Camino friend, Suzanne, to come and enjoy some chestnuts and chocolate with me, because chocolate is the way I like to eat my chestnuts. So Suzanne, have a piece of chocolate.
Thank you. And let me just say, for the record, Gigi, 70
some Caminos, yeah.
And not only that, she's an amazing baker and chef. And this home is full with people all the time.
Camino people.
And you come, and she's always wanting you to try one of her wonderful delights. So today, we are getting
chestnuts and chocolate. So let's give it a try.
Alrighty.
Take a chestnut.
Okay.
And a bite of this sweet, juicy meat. And a piece of chocolate. Wow.
Pretty good.
Doesn't that combine to be
yes.
a nice treat?
Excellent.
Okay, we're going to enjoy our chocolate and chestnuts. Then we're going to go walk in the desert Camino. So, bye for now.
Have a great day, everybody.
Guess what time it is? That's right, it's music time. For the connection between foraging and music, I've chosen Vivaldi's Four Seasons, specifically the concerto representing spring. This work was revolutionary for its vivid portrayal of nature through music, making a groundbreaking achievement in the early 18th century. So here is Vivaldi's Spring for 6 French horns. Please enjoy.